Destiny, would you consider yourself a masculine man?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. In what way?
Well, are we doing actually masculine, or do you mean like red pill masculine?
Yes, like red pill.
Oh, for red pill probably not, but masculine and the red pill bleeds into a lot of weird feminist shit, like takes like way too obsessed with how they look and dress, like things that I would say are historically like metrosexual or feminine. I would say like actually
He's
masculine.
throwing shots.
Well, no, I'm just saying that's like. Oh no, hold on, I didn't mean it.
He's throwing shots.
Taking personal shots, but I'm saying like traditionally, like these are like being like very particular about your appearance. So these are very like feminine qualities. I think that generally like masculine qualities are usually like obsessed with certain types of hobbies, or have certain types of demeanors, or certain types of engagements with people, or certain ways of like dealing with emotions. I say these are like broadly speaking like masculine things, but I think there are like traditionally like masculine type things that in red pill spaces they wouldn't consider masculine. So for instance, like a guy who's overweight and very antisocial and plays video games, that's like a masculine archetype. But I think in like red pill spaces, like masculine just means like, I guess, guys that go to the gym and are metrosexual. So I don't know what you mean. Yeah, when you asked me for masculine
question, as far as the overweight guy playing video games, you said that's masculine.
Yeah, it's just like very like nerdy demeanor type hobbies, like that stuff. This is like traditionally like masculine. Like men are drawn more towards certain types of video games. Men are drawn more towards like playing with like certain types of like Lego blocks versus like Barbies or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah. These are like masculine characteristics. Like
but the video game and the being overweight thing though. Because historically, men weren't overweight.
Well, historically, nobody was overweight. I'm just saying that the archetype of like nerdy gamer guy, I feel like in red pill spaces, people would say, "Oh, that's a very feminized guy," but it's not. It's a very masculine archetype. It's a very masculine.
How is that masculine?
What about that makes him?
How? I mean, if you look at these communities, they're like 98% men. Are we saying that they're all female or feminine, or?
Well, why does that make them masculine though? That they like to game and they're overweight. Why does that?
Well, it doesn't. Hold on, I shouldn't have said the overweight part. I just mean like a person that's like obsessed with video games. So I'm just going with the stereotype.
But what makes them obsessed with video games?
Well, I don't know. I think men tend to be on average a bit more competitive.
I was about to say that. Don't you think that it's the competitive nature in video games that makes it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but
sure. But I don't think people consider it. But in red pill spaces, you wouldn't consider video games.
Well, we don't identify with the labels given to us as by our oppressors.
Well, sure, but that's why
we don't do pills or drugs. So I wouldn't,
Okay, well, that's your loss. Okay, but no, I was just asking. I was just asking what you meant by like masculine, right? Like my aunt, like I started off as a StarCraft 2 professional gamer, and now I'm like a professional like politics debater guy. So like in terms, and then my personality is pretty aggressive. So most of my like personality qualities are pretty masculine, but some people might look at me and go like, oh, like you don't go to the gym enough, so you're not masculine, you're feminine. But like in any other society or in any other like way of breaking down my personality, I don't have very many like feminine qualities that are the things that make me popular, I guess.
Well, I would argue that, just saying that people that go to the gym are, traditionally masculine, I think is kind of disingenuous, because I would say that there's a lot of men that go to the gym that are kind of feminine, because they don't meet the other qualifications of masculinity, in my opinion.
What are your qualifications?
And then,
what are your qualifications?
I would say valor, bravery, honor, respect, loyalty, brotherhood, things like that. I wouldn't necessarily bundle it into just the competitive nature of men, because I think the majority of men want to be competitive, right? When I look at the world, right, I look at the world not as it is today, right? I look at our biology as far as how we were 1,000 years ago, right? Now it still plays a big part. Like if we were all thrown in the jungle, we could all unanimously decide, right, as men, who the alpha is here, right? Who's the most willing to take on danger?
It'd be destiny.
Could we agree on that?
Yeah, it'd be
no,
destiny.
I don't think we would agree.
I think it'd be destiny, right?
We might kill each other.
Yeah, no, it'd be destiny.
I'm talking about the men, just the men, not the ladies. Like as far as all the men, how many of us? Is 6 of us?
Yeah,
2, 4, 6.
Us,
yeah.
yes.
Would you guys agree that if we were right in a jungle, unanimously we'd be like, okay, yo, he's the leader of the pack?
I think that's something. No, I think that's something that naturally happens. We just tribe up and we just can go and hunt and do what we have to do to take care of ourselves. And
why'd you say no?
Because none of us have a close relationship besides.
No, but see, what would happen is the two strongest people would probably challenge each other, just like in the wild, right?
Like
so
physically.
Okay, hold on, I gotta understand it. Okay, so no matter how strong you are, no matter how strong you are, 3 men can always kill you. Okay, so the idea that like the alpha male is the guy, that's not true. And even when you look at like primates and shit that have like these types of structures. The people that are truly at the top of these hierarchies are not the strongest people. They tend to be strong, but they're usually people that are really socially adept, because you have to be able to build relationships with people. You have to be able to make people like you and trust you and respect you. And you have to be able to get people to work together. These are the most important traits of like an actual alpha person that is like leading businesses and stuff. It's not just the guy that has like the largest pecs or can like win a one-on-one fight, because again, anybody can always kill you in your sleep.
So yeah, I agree, but I never mentioned.
You
that's
said
why
the two strongest people would find.
No, I never said strong people.
I said that.
Okay,
I specifically excluded the gym guy, because I even said the 6'3" gym guy that's the most muscular, like he could be the most feminine. And then I described what I believe masculinity is. Yeah, honor, loyalty, respect. Wouldn't you agree that those are social characteristics that would allow a man to be able to lead a group?
I don't think any of those characteristics are masculine. What you just named. Which one of those were masculine?
Well, like honor, valor,
you don't think women
bravery.
have honor? You don't think women have any value? You don't think women have bravery?
I didn't say value. I said valor.
But yeah, valor, honor, bravery. Like women can have a respect. Like women can have all of these traits.
Yeah, sure. But I'm talking about a brotherhood. Women can't have a brotherhood.
Well, because they're women.
Yeah, but
But I'm asking, like, what are the things, like, if I'm trying to determine, for instance, if I consider a man to be masculine or feminine, and I'm looking at that guy, what are the things that I'm kind of looking for to ascertain his masculinity? Like, if you're looking at a guy, he enters a room, what are the things you're looking for? It's not honor, bravery, or valor, is it? Or what are you looking for? How do you determine it?
I think what Hector was saying is the ability to die for what he believes in. That's
but you don't even know that for 99% of men. How many men do you meet where you test if they're willing to die for what they believe?
Well, that's why brotherhood is such an important aspect of it.
Why? Because do you threaten to kill people in part of the brotherhood?
No.
How do you find out if they're willing to die for you? You don't know if a guy's going to die for you or not, right?
It's conditioning, right? When you grow up and you're conditioned to be, let's say, a masculine man that believes in loyalty, valor, and everything else he just named, you're more likely to understand what your purpose is amongst what your culture is, right?
So if a guy walks into a room, this is a super frank question. How do you determine like what percentage you think he has like of a masculine demeanor versus like a feminine demeanor? Like, what are you looking for to figure that out?
I mean, you'd have to get to know the person.
Sure. Well, let's say you see him, you're watching him interact with some other people. Is there any way you're trying to determine?
Yeah. I would say if he makes good eye contact, if he's not afraid of, if he's not afraid of the person, I think you made a good point with being socially calibrated.
Mm-hmm.
If he's socially calibrated, if he knows how to lead, even if the person's bigger and stronger than him, if he understands how to be the competent one in the room and be able to utilize whatever leverage he has to possibly work the room in his favor, I think that's very masculine.
Yeah, I think that's a really good answer for figuring out if you think somebody's masculine or feminine. It's not like the honorary bravery value, because I don't know what that is. But if you see a guy walk into a room, he creates good space for himself. When he's engaging other people in conversation, he can both understand what they're saying, but like he commands kind of like respect. He seems like he's competent. He fills a room. Yeah, I would say these are like good masculine traits. That type of like social confidence that people should aim for.
But
I think
to
that's
be fair, a woman can have. Really
I was
good
just about
eye
to say,
contact.
Could,
would
yes.
women be able to do the same thing in retrospect?
We call them masculine and feminine traits, but I think that like women and men should exhibit high levels of both certain types of masculine or feminine traits.
I feel like that's good manners at the end of the day.
Something that I would say, I would consider it like a masculine trait, and I would agree with you, more than just like the socializing. I would consider there are traits around leadership that are incredibly rare. People like to say like men are leaders. That's bullshit. Very few men are leaders. Very few people are leaders. But a person, in my opinion, in a leadership role that's willing to take accountability for decisions would be the person who would be the leader of the group. But accountability for decisions is probably one of the scariest things, because when you've got multiple people working under you and ultimately you've got to make the call, and whether it goes right, that's easy. If it goes wrong, all of it falls back on you. That's an exceedingly rare and hard trait to find. And these are the people that end up being leaders in society that can make those decisions for other people.
Then wouldn't you agree that being self-accountable is an honorable thing to do?
Yeah, of course.
All right, then, so how can you disqualify honor as being a masculine trait?
Because honor is like such a vague.
It's not, though. It's very specific.
Like honor thy mother and father is a commandment, and women and men are called to do that equally. I don't know which like honor like.
Yeah, sure. But as far as like when we're talking about a specific kind of honor that's displayed amongst men. Like there's certain rules and laws amongst men that men don't typically cross. For example, let's say this is my brother or my friend or whatever. Like I'd never sleep with his wife. He doesn't have to tell me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's
honorable behavior. I do agree with you. But
You know what?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go
if
ahead.
I see two guys jumping my brother, beating my brother up, I'm gonna jump in. I'm being loyal.
Even if it's 4 or 5
even
guys.
if we both get our ass whooped, that's loyalty.
What if they have guns?
I'll die with my
Yeah,
brother.
it doesn't matter.
You know,
It
because
doesn't
that's
matter.
brotherhood.
Yeah.
you know, it's that brotherhood, and sometimes
He's
it doesn't
laughing
even-
at it though. Is that a good thing or a
sometimes
bad
it's
thing?
not even a.
I mean, if you would, that's admirable. I think so. Yeah.
Okay, would you do it though?
Well, it depends how much I like the friend.
If me and if me and you were friends and you saw me get my ass beat, would you jump in to help me?
It depends on the scenario. If you were sincerely just getting out, usually when people are in trouble, I know that people have the inclination to be like, "Oh, that's my friend," but usually the first question is, "Well, what the f- did you do?"
Well,
Right?
why is
So
it-
if you did some
No,
dumb
no,
shit,
no.
you
You
did some
understand.
dumb shit. Maybe you need to get an answer.
No,
You know, it just
Steven,
depends. Yeah, that's
Steven,
how it goes.
Steve,
Yeah.
but you asked that after though.
Facts.
Yeah, you asked
Yeah.
that question after.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What's the scenario? Like if you walk into a room and your friend's gonna
Yeah, it
ask with,
doesn't
then
ma-
obviously you
yeah,
help.
well,
But
it doesn't
no,
matter.
hold on. It does matter.
No.
If I've got a friend and he's talking to another guy, and my friend is talking some mad shit, and he gets his ass spanked. That's on him. Like what do you mean?
Nah,
You're gonna
well,
defend
but
your
see,
friend for some
that's where it
retarded
goes.
shit?
Yeah, but see, that's where it goes with having a good selection in friends, and that tells a lot about your self development, right? So let's say that I do practice self development, and you know the way that I select friends, which I don't even have friends, because when I start to get to know a
Oh,
person,
you don't have friends?
yeah, no, I don't. Like, maybe associates, but then you know certain people. That's why brotherhood is important, I think, for men. So you know you start to distinguish whether people are your brothers or not, right? In whatever organization you're building. If it's my brother, I'm very well confident that he didn't start those issues, you know. So if someone comes and he's beating up my friend, he's beating up my brother, like I'm not gonna ask any questions. I'm gonna immediately
Yeah.
go to work. Now after, bro, what happened?
Yeah. yeah.
Like what happened?